3 surahs, once after every salah and 3 times after Fajr and Maghrib. And we mentioned the reason for this is that Fajr is the beginning of the day and Maghrib is the end of the day, the beginning of the night. In order to seek his protection, we recite these 3 surahs, these 3 surahs. Surah is the jama of surah. It's different to the surah, which means in Urdu, which means something else, as you probably know. So be careful. Surah, Sin, Waw, and Ra, not Swad, Waw, or Ra. Yeah, so be careful with the surah in Urdu means it means the khinzir, doesn't it? Yeah. Suwar ka gosht. Yeah. So be careful. We don't mix the two up. Suwar with a sin. It has been reported by Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha that the Prophet, before sleeping, the Prophet used to blow into his hands. So there is this tradition, or there is this sunnah of blowing onto the hands, the face, after recitation. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Some people see this as bid'ah. This is really proven by the sunnah, by the hadith of the Prophet, as we see here. And he used to blow on into his hands, recite the last 3 surahs, and then pass his hands over his whole body. Not just his face, his head, the whole body. Yeah, so this is to get the protection, the barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So everybody wants protection. So let's try make it a habit to recite these surahs regular. And we will get 2 benefits. We will get the protection from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and receive the reward for following the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So we'll begin inshallah the surah, if that's clear. So just repeat after me, if you can, word by word, this first line. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قل, say, أعوذ, I seek refuge, برب, in the Lord, الفلق, of the daybreak. قل أعوذ برب الفلق. Yeah. Say, I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak. Daybreak, al-falaq. Qul, we discussed this in the previous surah. Qul huwallahu ahad, and it's the same meaning, say. And this, as we mentioned last time, is mentioned approximately 332 times in the Quran. And the meaning is more than just say, it is convey and to deliver in the best way. That's what qul means. It doesn't just mean say or recite. There's more meaning to this word qul. A'udhu, this is something you will see for the first time. And a'udhu, as we did in a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, it's similar meaning. Yeah, I take refuge billahi in Allah. When we said in the ta'awudh, a'udhu billahi, here it is a'udhu bi rabb, in the Lord. Yeah. So if you look at Allah, so here is one of his names or one of his characteristics, one of his sifats is the Rabb. And here we see al-falaq. Al-falaq means daybreak. Yeah, when the days begin, it is daybreak. Rabb al-falaq. Fa, lam, and qaf. Falaq. The first ayah has many messages which will be similar to what you will read in Qul a'udhu bi rabbin nas. And the message is that we are surrounded by many evils around us by day and night, including, this is a medical, viruses, mischief makers, and the hasad, jealous people as well. Yeah. So, who do we seek protection with? It's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We don't seek protection in anyone else. Yeah. Not even the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We seek protection in the Lord of the Falaq, who is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the Rabb of the daybreak. So let's think about the sun, which is obviously the source of daylight. How big it is. It's massive. When you read in science that the size of the sun, how many times bigger than the earth is the sun? Yeah, many times. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. Yeah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how far is it from us? 150 million kilometers. And how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks after the earth, the sun, and all the galaxies out there, the planets out there. There's no change to the nature and to the nizam, to the system of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then we will realize how big Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how He is really the Rabb of everything, not just the falaq. Allah brings the day from the darkness. Similarly, Allah can do the same for us. He can remove the darkness from within us which is the darkness of evil. Yeah, so that's why we are asking protection from this. This surah, along with a few other surahs, starts with say. So we should recite this surah. Also, as we did with Surah Al-Ikhlas, we should convey it to others with wisdom and with kindness, in the same way that the Prophet ﷺ taught us and he did himself. So let's just quickly practice this first line before we move on to the second ayah. So, alim and uktub. So, teach one another and also write as well. You guys got partners, yes? So you can go into twos, yeah? One of you can join your brother if you want, or you can join maybe himself. Call Abdul Hakim as well. Abdul Hakim. Call them both. Okay, so we move on to the next ayah. Next ayah, ayah number 2. So again, repeat if you can, please, after me. Min, from, sharri, the evil, ma, of that which, khalaqa, he created. Min sharri ma khalaqa. From the evil of that which he created. From the evil of that which he created. And it will become clearer what he means by this ayah. Min sharri, from the evil. From the evil. So we're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection from a few things here. From the evil, from the shar. Yeah? Like we were seeking protection from who in the a'udhu? From the shaitan. Yeah? A'udhu billahi minash shaitan. So here we are seeking protection from the shar. But there is min and there is man. What's the difference between min and man? Those who know, who have learned a bit of Arabic, not them, the others who can just quickly, man and min. The difference is very clear. Man, the two meanings of man. Yeah, the first one I will just make it clear because there's man and there's min. Man is obviously one of the questions you'll be asked in the grave is Man Rabb. Who is your Lord? Who is your Rabb? Yeah. There's also the other question, Ma Deen. What is your deen? What is your religion? Yeah. So man and min. Don't forget the difference. Min means from. Man means who. It's like a question to you. Shar is from the root letters Sheen Ra Ra. Sheen Ra Ra. Shar means evil. Sharir, you know, we hear a lot Sharir. The opposite of Sharif. Sharir and Sharia. Evil, suffering, anything that's a direct or a cause. Even sometimes it may appear as something good. The evil might sometimes appear as good. Think about that. Sometimes you will see something which is evil, but it will be clouded so much that it will look good. So you have to also seek protection from these things as well. Ma means again of that which. Of that which. So this is where really sometimes you get confused as a non-Arab, and we explain what it means. How those who don't have much knowledge of Arabic manage in the Arab world. So how we use slang words when we go for Hajj or Umrah, if you go to abroad, and we change the tone and it can be a question or an answer. Let's look at an example here. So fi means it is, yeah? It is there or it is here, or fi can also means yes. Ma fi means it is not there. Yeah, it is not there. Ma fi. So sometimes you can use fi as a positive, and sometimes you can use it as a question, as a negative. So it is not there. Ma fi means no, not. But ma dinuk is what is your deen. Not that your religion is not. It's not a negative, it's a question. So the second one is a question. The first one is a negation word. Not. So be careful when you try to use these words, which it's a single word like fi means it is there, or meaning yes, na'am. Ma fi means no, it is not there. Khalaq, so what are we talking about when you say khalaq? And khalaq, we talked about it before as well. It's something which is from the root letters kha, lam and qaf. Khalaq, created. Khalaq. Who created? Yeah. He is the creator. Al-Khaliq. Al-Khaliq. Yeah, so Khaliq. When you look at the ayah, shar has two meanings. It has the meaning of evil and also suffering. And I mentioned this before, that some evil will appear good, but their end is suffering. Therefore, they are also classed as evil. So what we do, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's protection from all these types of evil, of what He has created, i.e. from the evil of His creations. So we know Allah has created good and bad. Yeah. For example, Allah created human beings to worship Him, but some of the human beings will not worship Him. They'll do the opposite, they'll hurt people. So we ask Allah's protection from them as well, from such people who might hurt us because they are not worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They do not see the right as the right and the wrong as wrong. Here, so this goes into the living and non-living creatures. So we see protection from the evil of all living and non-living creatures. What does this mean, non-living creatures?
Like plants.
Jinn, yeah, non-living. So you don't actually see them. They're not apparent, you can't see the jinn. So these are things you also ask for protection against, the non-living. Yeah. Very important, yeah. We'll practice this in the end. I'm just going to finish off the surah. That the min sharri, will remember to practice this at the end as well. These two ayahs which we've recited, it makes it clear that Allah is the creator of all things, and the rest are His creations. Yeah. They are the ones who have been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we seek His help from the evil of His creations, which include everything and anything and everything. What He created covers everything. And then the next three verses talk of three specific evil things, which we will go into after you have practiced this ayah. It talks about sharri ghasiq, wa min sharri nafathati, wa min sharri hasad. Allah gives us an example of three common evils that appear in humanity. One common thing in the threes is that we won't know if the harm is on our way. We don't know if this evil is going to actually hit us or not. We do not know when it will happen. I.e. in darkness, ghasiq. Naffathat, by the magicians. Yeah, naffathat. And hasid, by a jealous person. Only Allah can give us protection against these type of people. Yeah, from the ghasiq, from the darkness, the shar in the darkness, and the magicians, and by the jealous people. So let's just quickly practice that ayah. min sharri ma khalaq. I'll give you the tuition. علم. Okay, class. Don't forget the two types of shar, of evil. Here it will become more clear when we talk about the three types of shar. So let's repeat. وَمِن شَرِّ. And from the evil. غَاسِقٍ. Of darkness. إِذَا. When. وَقَبْ. It becomes intense. Basically when the darkness falls and it becomes pitch black. وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبْ. وَقَبْ. And from the evil of darkness when it becomes intense. Okay. So here we have the same min sharri, but we just have the waw in the beginning, and also we see protection from the below as well. Ghasiq is from, again, the root letters ghain, sin and qaf, which means darkness. Darkness. When, idha, we mentioned this before, idha means when. When. And this is a bit of grammar for you. When idha, after idha comes the past tense, then it becomes intense. Yeah? It becomes intense. Idha waqab. It means both past, present, and future. So it changes the meaning to all three forms. When idha comes in front of, any past tense. Idha waqab. When it becomes intense. So became and becomes, and it will become in the future. What is the message from this ayah? This might not be true now. Every 12 hours comes a night. Is it how many hours comes a night now? How long are the days or the nights nowadays? The hours have changed slightly, haven't they? So sunrise is just after 7. So we have how many hours? 10 hours. 9, 10 hours. So after 9, 10 hours comes the night. The time for work is over and people are relatively free, unless you are in a masjid learning about the Quran, then you are still working, alhamdulillah. It is a time when the human's mind can easily be corrupted by the evil. Yeah, a night time. You know, it's an empty man's brain is a devil's workshop. Yeah, this is a saying, old saying, you must have heard this. Most of the evil, indecency and immoral acts, they happen at night. Such as when we watch the tallies, the evil parties, we had Halloween, we had bonfire, then we'll have Christmas soon. So all these things happen at night. Evil movies and other evils. So sorry? Prime time, yeah. This is the prime time for the shayateen. This is when they're happy, this is when they're active at night. This is why we ask and we seek protection. Also for the thieves, you know, and enemies to attack at night. This is usually the common trait that thieves, they will wait till darkness and they will wear black clothes, balaclava, and then they will attack your house. So this is the best time for them. And also for armies, you'll see mostly they attack at night. Even though Islam prohibits this, you're not allowed to attack at night. You must send a message to the camp that we're about to attack you, and it must be in daylight. These are some of the rules of engagement in Islam that we have. So staying awake late is also evil. This has become normal. You know, we talk to our youngsters. I ask my madrasa children, what time do you sleep? They say 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, and I'm thinking to myself, so late. So what are you doing? And what do they say? Fortnite or Xbox or whatever. I'm thinking, oh, subhanallah. How many times you have to remind them? It's not sinking in. So try to sleep early. After Isha straight away. I mean, nowadays Isha is quite early. I think 9, 10 o'clock is late enough, Because what happens if you sleep late? Obviously you're not going to get up for Fajr. And it's also harmful for your health. Sleeping late is harmful to your health. You don't get up in the morning and you cannot get up for work or for your school or for your college or for whatever you're doing in the morning. We'll practice this later on, inshallah, because we've got 1, 2 more ayahs left to do, and we'll practice this. وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ. So وَمِن شَرِّ, again, and from the evil, النَّفَّاثَاتِ, of those who blow, فِي الْعُقَدِ, on the knots or in the knots. In the knots is fine, in the knots. Again, we have وَمِن شَرِّ is the evil from, same meaning as before. When you say this word, you have to blow. Naffathat. Yes, you have to blow. Allah's given. This is one of the miracles of the Quran. Some words will be exactly what they mean. So this one is naffathat. So you're blowing as you're saying this word. Those who blow. Yeah, naffathat. Uqad, uqda, and we have uqad. Uqda is the singular. Uqad is the plural, knots. It will explain what it means. Uqad. Fil uqad, on the knots or in the knots. Yeah. You see, this is what it means. This is a knot, yeah? Nuptial knot. Or nuptial or nuptial. What is it, nuptial or nuptial? Nuptial knot. Nuptial knot. So this is the type of knot that you will see sometimes people blowing into. This was a practice even at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Before that, they used to do this. So let's look at this ayah very, very briefly. The magic, he's talking about magic and sorcery, which is a big test from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If the one who is affected by the magic and doesn't have strong iman, doesn't have faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then he may start or she may start committing shirk. And what will they do? They will start doing un-Islamic practices to find the solution. This happens a lot. Yeah. Well, to protect us from magic, it is really a big test. Those who are going through it, we shouldn't belittle them, we shouldn't look down at them. They are also struggling, they are suffering, this is really an illness which they've been tested with. This happens, between families. In some families where relations are not good, people are scared of visiting relations and even having a cup of tea in their house in case they blow something into it. They are afraid of magic or other evils from them, and this surah is the best cure for this problem. If you think someone's going to blow something into your food or your water or your tea, then you do the same. You blow this surah into that cup or into that pot or into that plate of food. This will cure, inshallah. But also we shouldn't forget the daily recitation and the daily blowing of these surahs, yeah? And especially the enemy that lives with us. And who's the enemy that lives with us all the time? The shaitan, yeah. The Prophet said, when any one of you sleeps, shaitan ties 3 knots at the back of his neck. He recites this calling, this incantation that on the knot. What does he say to you? He says, you have a long night, so sleep. If he wakes up and remembers Allah, then 1 knot is loosened. This is just at the time of Fajr, yeah? If he performs the wudu, then the 2nd knot is loosened. If he performs a prayer, all knots are loosened. And he begins his morning or her morning in a happy and refreshed mood. Otherwise, if you don't get up, you are unable to untie those knots, what happens? You get up in a bad spirit and in a lazy state. You feel like tired, you can't bother to get up, and there's something not right in yourself. So if you stay awake late, you give a big chance to the shaitan to make you sleep and miss the Fajr. Don't forget this is a beautiful hadith that the Prophet mentioned regarding the shaitan, how he's happy at the time of Fajr if you don't get up, because his knots are still there on the back of your neck. And then the next ayah also explains another bit of hasad, وَمِن, yeah, so this is envy, jealousy. So let's read this ayah before we can practice. وَمِن شَرِّ, and from the evil, حَاسِدٍ, of the envier, إِذَا, when, حَسَد, he envies. So this is the last ayah of this surah. And this one new word which you will have in this one new word which you will have, which is the hasad. And this is really a long explanation to this, so I'm going to leave this for a few minutes. If I can ask you just to quickly practice what you have learned from وَمِن شَرٍ نَفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. So practice this amongst yourself, and then we'll carry on in a minute, inshallah. علم. For which weeks? For the whole week. That's for the where we're on now. Next one, next week. That's for where we're on now. Call the sister. Okay, class. The last ayah. Acha. We do the last. وَمِن شَرِّ, and from the evil, حَاسِدٍ, of the envier, إِذَا حَسَدْ, when he envies. So again we have this وَمِن شَرِّ, and from the evil, حَسَد. So from the same root letters as حَسَد, Ha, Sin and Dal. حَاسِد is the fa'il or the doer of حَسَد, the one who envy, the envier. إِذَا again, إِذ, and إِذَا has come here again. It means when. Hasad, he envied, or when he envies. It doesn't mean that he envied once and that's it. It means that he's envying now and he will envy in the future as well. So all three forms. Yeah. This is the difference that we have when إِذَا comes in front of a past tense. Hasad is a past tense. He envied. So Hasad and Hasid are from the same root letters. Ida plus Madi means a past tense, equals to future or present future. Ida Ja'a, when it comes. Ida Waqa, we did it in the previous ayah, when it intensifies. Ida Hasad, when he envies. Ida Dhukir Allah, when Allah's name is remembered. Yeah. So what do we get from this last ayah? Is that when we receive something good, a new phone, new car, whatever, new house, a jealous person wishes. So there's a difference between hasad and what's the other one?
Rashk.
What does it mean in what's the name in Arabic?
In good sense, rashk. Oh.
What rush है वो तो उर्दू के लेकिन अंग्रेजी में इसके क्या कहते हैं? What does rush mean in English? Envy. So this is envy. This is hasad. Let me explain to you. It will become clear. There's another word for it in English. So if you see something good, a jealous person wishes that you lose it and he gets it. Okay? If not, at least you should lose it. He will try or she will try their best to destroy your reputation, your work, property or her. This is hasad. So we pray that we are never jealous of anyone. It is like objecting to Allah's distribution. This is His will to give to whom He wills. Yeah? Say A'udhu Billah and pray for more and for him and for yourself, you will get it too. The Prophet ﷺ says in a hadith that beware of envy, because envy consumes, destroys the virtues just as the fire consumes the firewood. Or he said grass. Both words are mentioned in Abu Dawood. This is going to finish, but there's another word for hasad, and there's also, if you see someone who has a good thing, you don't wish that they lose it, but you wish that you have it as well. What's that? Huh? Yeah, there's another name for it, not desire. I'm trying to think of the word. Jealousy, no, this is jealousy. This is the worst part. Jealousy is what is forbidden. There is a type of longing for something which is allowed in Islam. Yeah, that this person has it, I wish I also have it. But I don't wish for them to lose it. This is the worst part. The worst type is that you wish that they also lose that ni'mah. So the second type is allowed. Yeah, to wish, long for something which they have it, and I also wish I have it as well. Yeah, this is one which is allowed in the hadith. Let's practice this, then we'll take some questions in the end, and there's a couple of announcements to make at the end as well. So let's alim and practice this, and try to remember. Most of you will know this by heart. Those who don't, try to memorize it by heart. At least the last 3 surahs of the 30th Sibara. Alim.
The word longing.
Yeah, longing, but there's a name for it. It's opposite of hasad.
Opposite of hasad.
Yeah. Let's check here.
Google it, opposite of hasad.
It's longing is the right
Find it now.
word.
Oh.
You'll know it when we come to it.
Okay, class. No, this is homework for you guys. Not for me to find. This is homework for you guys to find and to come back next week. That is the one which is allowed in Islam. It's like competition, and it's like you see somebody, like we have competition in madrasa that he's learned so many siparas that I wish, that I also learn so many siparas. This is something which is encouraged.
Yeah.
It's not jealousy. Jealousy is something which is forbidden. It's been haram. Not have jealousy in Islam. A lot of these problems, the root cause is jealousy. You see relations breaking down because of jealousy, and because of this competition, the worldly competition which we have amongst us for the dunya. So inshallah we will take some questions. Let's finish off on this point. So don't forget the vocabulary. All the vocabulary will be there, from al-falaq up to al-hasad. And the best way is to try to repeat these surahs on yourself, on your children, on your family, in the house. And if you still find, sometimes people will find that, I've read it once, it's not working, what should I do? They give up. You should do it at least for a few weeks, few months. A house which has some athar or some, signs of sihr or black magic or jadoo, whatever it is, it takes time for that athar to be destroyed. And I would not advise you to go and see anyone, especially those who charge hundreds and thousands of pounds. Keep away from them. They are money-making scams. So to be honest with you, you should try to encourage your youngsters to blow on themselves. This is the best type of ruqya, and you'll be from amongst those people whom Allah Subhanahu wa Taala will say that enter Jannah without any accountability. If you're not, most people nowadays they cannot do this. This is something which is very, very difficult. They cannot have the patience and the sabr to blow on themselves and to keep themselves just clean is something which we fail to do. Our youngsters don't know how to keep themselves clean. They might be wearing good clothes, nice clothes, but the internal aspects might be full of filth. So we have to make sure we start from the basics, inshallah. So try to keep away from them, and we'll encourage. Anybody who comes to us, we encourage them to blow on themselves, and not to fall into the trap of the shaitan. Because we see them after 2-3 years, they're still in the same situation. Why? Because the first step that they took was the wrong step. So try to make this a practice, and you can blow on someone else as long as it's from the Quran, the recitation. is not blurred, it's not confused. What is written is clear. Most of the ta'weez which you open, they have all sorts of names of devils on them. This is what they're calling upon. They're calling upon devils. Devils. Khansar or Pansar, I don't know what names they call, and they're just making life difficult for the ones who's wearing it. So really again, I'm not against ta'weez if it has proper words of Allah on them. But majority of them are not, unfortunately. They are. And again, if you have Quran on your neck, how are you going to enter into the toilet? How are you going to have a shower? So it's a lot of pressure to put on the child. And unfortunately, a lot of children do wear them, but they're not aware of what's happening inside the ta'weez. So there is the proper ta'weez, which is the quls, and to seek protection in the right way. Blow it, it's simple. That's what it is. And have the faith in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Whatever bad happens, whatever good happens, it's all from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No one is in control of that. It's not your next door neighbor who's in control of that, or your sas or your bahu, whatever. No, don't get into those debates with your in-laws or your children. I cannot get married, or there's something happening, there's some jadoo. I can't have children, there's something there, there's jadoo. No, don't fall into this trap. Allah will make it happen when the time is right. If there's any questions, we'll take some questions before we finish off. I'll let you go home, inshallah. It's 8:15. Subhanallah bihamdi, subhanallah al-azim. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah, astaghfiruka wa atubu. We have a